Hey everyone! Big shout out to the tennis heads tuning in from all corners of the map, especially our crew watching from the Philippines and the States. Good to have you with us. We are right on the edge of something huge. The 2026 Australian Open is officially here. And sure, most people are obsessing over the big guns, the Sinners, Sabalenkas, and Alcarazes of the bracket. But forget the main stage for a second. There is one specific opening round fight that has the tennis underground buzzing like crazy this week. It is a total clash of styles, a collision of two players on completely opposite paths, and honestly, two of the most electric young talents in the women's game. I am talking about the Filipino phenom. Fresh off, breaking into the top 50 at number 49, Alexandra Eala, going head-to-head with the American cannon, the record-breaking server Alycia Parks. Calling this a round one match feels wrong. This is a statement game, a real gut check. And if you have been watching the practice sessions at Melbourne Park over the last 48 hours, you know the secret is out. Ayla is not some up-and-comer anymore. She is a legitimate threat. So, why is everyone freaking out? Why is Rod Laver Arena whispering about this specific matchup? Because the narrative has done a complete 180. Rewind 2 years. And Alycia Parks was the one to watch. She hits the ball with absolute violence, maybe the hardest hitter we have ever seen. Back then, she would have crushed a junior player like Eala on paper. But, right now, it is a whole new ball game. The tables have flipped entirely. Alex is not scrapping through qualifiers or hoping for a wild card handout. She walked in the front door as a top 50 player, number 49 in the world. She just snagged that career-high spot a few days ago after tearing it up in Auckland. Her 2025 season was a breakout year that changed everything. And she is hitting this tournament, playing out of her mind. We just saw her take down Donna Vekic, an Olympic silver medalist, over at the Kooyong Classic. She has got this swagger now. This tactical smarts that honestly scares the living daylights out of anyone standing across the net. And we have to talk about the Coco connection, that video that dropped this weekend, the one breaking the internet right before her main draw debut. Ella was out there on the Melbourne courts. She was not rallying with a scrub or her coach. She was trading absolute missiles with the world number 3, superstar Coco Gauff. And this was not some casual warm-up. They were going full tilt. And what blew everyone away, especially the reporters watching by the fence, was that Eala was not just surviving. She was running the show. She stood her ground against a Grand Slam champ, matching the pace, eating up the power, and firing back with that wicked lefty forehand she is famous for. Look, when someone like Coco Gauff asks you to practice during a slam week, that is not charity. That is respect. It means you are one of them. But hold your horses on the trophy ceremony, because Alycia Parks is standing right in the way. And any real tennis fan knows Parks is basically a stick of dynamite with a racket. Yeah, she is sitting at number 100 right now. But do not let that fool you for a second. She is tied with Venus Williams for the fastest serve in U.S. Open history, 129 miles per hour, when she is clicking. And that serve is finding the box. You do not even get to play. She can wrap up a match in 40 minutes while you just watch the aces fly by. She is a wild card, unpredictable, and she is desperate to claw her way back up the ladder, fighting for her professional life. So picture it Monday morning. Court 6. Melbourne heat baking the concrete. You have got the heavy hitter, the American who can blast anyone off the court when she is hot. And then you have the Filipino prodigy, the gritty tactician, carrying the hopes of her whole country and riding a massive wave of momentum. It is the classic unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Raw power versus surgical precision. Park's athleticism versus Ayla's counterpunching. Everyone is tuning in to answer one question. Is the hype legit? Can Alex take that intensity from the practice with Coco and bring it to a grand slam? Can she handle 129-mile-per-hour rockets? Or will the American power be too much? We are about to dissect every inch of this matchup. We are diving into the numbers, the mental game, the recent hot streaks, and that viral practice session If you love the sport, or just love seeing an underdog take over, you are going to want to stick around for this. Strap in. The Australian Open is live, and the Eala era is knocking on the door. Let's get into it. Time to break this down. To really get why this opener over on Court 6 matters, you have to look at the trajectories these women have been riding for the past year. It is way more than just another game. We are watching two totally opposite paths crashing into each other at exactly the right time. First up, you have the ascent of Alexandra Eala. She is arguably the breakout star of 2025. Let's dig into her story first. Anyone watching since her junior run back, when she snagged the 2020 Aussie Open doubles, or that US Open singles crown in 2022, already knew she had the goods. However, jumping from the junior circuit to the pros is arguably the toughest transition in athletics. She spent a few years in the trenches grinding through obscure ITF events, busting out in qualifiers, and just trying to build up her body. Then came 2025, and the script flipped completely. That was the season Alex truly arrived. She went from promising kid to a genuine problem for the tour, starting the season ranked outside the top 150 and closing it out in the top 50. You do not make a leap like that by luck. That takes serious grit, conditioning, and showing up every single day. What she did last week at the ASB Classic in Auckland was no accident. It was a declaration, and she wasn't just beating up on journeymen. She took apart seasoned pros, including Donna Vekic. That is a huge resume builder. Vekic hits a heavy ball, has made the semis at Wimbledon, and knows how to close out matches under the bright lights. So, for Eala to take her down in Auckland, and then rinse and repeat a few days later at Kooyong, shows she has figured out how to handle big hitters. Speed doesn't scare her anymore. She soaks it up and redirects it. Her style has totally matured. Back in 2023, the knock on Eala was always her serve and her footwork. People thought she would just get blown off the court. Now, her service game is a legitimate asset. She might not bring the heat like Parks, but her spot serving is elite. She developed this wicked slice on the ad side that drags you way off the court, leaving the line wide open for that lefty forehand. As for her speed, she is easily one of the quickest players in her section of the draw. Her anticipation is off the charts. She slides on hard courts like she was born to do it, forcing you to hit one more shot every time. That grinding mentality is exactly what frustrates sluggers like Alycia Parks. Speaking of Alycia Parks, she is the ultimate wild card, pure power mixed with high risk. Let's talk about her side of the net. If you engineered a tennis prototype in a lab, the result would look almost identical to Parks. She is tall, explosive, and generates scary power without even looking like she is trying. We already touched on that serve, clocking in at 129 miles per hour. I am not exaggerating here. That is faster than a lot of guys on the ATP Tour. When she is dialing it in, you basically cannot touch her. She paints the lines, and the ball is past you before your feet even move. Back in 2023, she looked like the future of the sport. She took home the trophy in Lyon, taking down Caroline Garcia on indoor hard courts, and cracked the top 40. People were saying, this is it. She is the next Williams sister. Then everything fell apart. This game can be brutal. It shines a light on every weakness you have. For Parks, the issue was simply staying consistent. That same aggression that lets her blast winners from the parking lot also leads to some confusing error counts. It is classic high-risk, high-reward tennis. She had a rough go in 2024 and 2025. She dropped out of the top 50, then the top 70, and now she is hanging around the number 100 spot. She is coming into Melbourne with a chip on her shoulder after dropping her opener in Auckland to Elisabetta Cacciaretto. Then she bowed out in the Hobart qualifiers. Her confidence is shaky. But here's the thing with weapons like hers. You can never count her out. She just needs one set, a little rhythm, or for that serve to catch fire, and she can take down anybody. She is backed into a corner right now, which makes her incredibly dangerous. Now, let's break down the tactics. It is a total clash of philosophies on Court 6. This is your textbook stylistic mismatch. Parks is looking for a quick shootout. She wants it short, big serve, big return, 1-2 punch. She has zero interest in rallying. She just wants to knock the racket out of Eala's hand. Expect her to go after Eala's second serve with everything she has. If Alex leaves anything sitting up in the midcourt, Parks is going to obliterate it. Alex, meanwhile, wants to turn this into a chess match. Being a lefty gives her a built-in edge against a righty power hitter. Her cross-court forehand feeds right into Parks' backhand wing. Now, Parks has a solid backhand, but when she is under the gun and that ball is kicking away with heavy spin, that is where the mistakes happen. This whole thing comes down to the return of serve. That is the ultimate test for Eala. Can she diffuse Parks' delivery? Eala does not need to blast return winners. She just needs to block it back deep and get the point started. If she drags the rally past 4 shots, the odds tilt way in her favor. The longer the exchange, the higher the chance Parks sprays one. Eala has to use that lefty spin to keep the ball high and uncomfortable. So Parks can't just tee off on flat winners. For Parks, it is all about staying patient. If she tries to force the issue, if she can't wrap up the point in a 1-2 punch, she is going to get ground down by Eala's consistency. She has to build the rally, use her power to pry the court open, and then pull the trigger. But let's be honest, patience hasn't exactly been her friend lately. Which brings us to the significance of that practice block with Coco Gauff. Let's circle back to that hitting session with Coco. Why is everyone talking about it? Why are we even bringing it up in this analysis? Look, in the pros, you don't just pick hitting partners out of a hat. Elite seeds like Coco Gauff don't waste their sweat on players who can't offer a challenge or help them find their groove. By booking court time with Alexandra Eala right before a major, Gauff's camp is validating Eala's skill level. But for Eala, it's not just a compliment. It's a tactical gold mine. Think about it. Coco hits a ball just like Alycia, Parks heavy, fast, and athletic. The difference is, Coco actually keeps it in the court. By trading shots with Gauff, Eala has effectively calibrated her eyes and reflexes to the exact velocity she is going to see on Monday. She has been tracking serves coming in at 120 miles per hour. She has been handling deep, heavy drives. So when she steps out there against Parks, the speed isn't going to blindside her. She literally just finished rallying with the number 3 player in the world. That mental advantage is huge. It completely neutralizes the intimidation factor of Parks' power game. Eala can tell herself, I just hung with Coco. I can definitely handle Alycia. Now, let's talk about the intangibles, the atmosphere. Court 6 at Melbourne Park is an outdoor court. Sure, but it's designed to pack in a tight, noisy crowd. Remember, they call the Australian Open the Grand Slam of the Asia-Pacific for a reason. The backing for Asian athletes, and specifically Filipino players, is absolutely massive down in Melbourne. Victoria has a huge Pinoy community. We saw glimpses of it during qualifiers last year. But now that she is in the main draw, expect that energy to be multiplied by 10. Alexandra Eala won't be playing on neutral ground. This is basically going to feel like a home game. Those chants of Laban Pilipinas are going to be deafening. And for an emotional player like Eala, we saw how she fed off that vibe in Auckland. That kind of crowd noise acts like a natural performance enhancer. Flip the script for Alycia Parks. She is already struggling with confidence. Facing a crowd that is 90% rooting against her can feel suffocating if she starts double faulting early. If the stands erupt every time she makes an error, can she keep her cool? Her body language lately has been pretty negative when the going gets tough. Shoulders dropping, staring daggers at her box, rushing the serve clock. Eala is a shark when it comes to reading that stuff. The second she smells frustration coming off Parks, she is going to lock in and become a brick wall. Let's look at the tail of the tape for just the last 3 weeks. Eala, semi-finalist at a WTA 250, winner of the Kooyong exhibition, taking down top 50 talent. Parks crashed out first round at a WTA 250, lost in qualifiers at another. She is dropping matches to girls ranked outside the top 60. Momentum is a real physical force in this sport. Eala is clutching out the tight moments. She is winning tiebreaks. She is erasing break points. Parks is letting those moments slip. But hey, you have to respect the server's chance. If Parks wakes up Monday feeling dangerous and drops 20 aces, there is not much Eala can do. That is the nightmare of playing a big hitter. But the law of averages says that over a 3-set grind, the more complete player usually takes the win. Right now, the better mover, the smarter strategist, and the tougher competitor is undoubtedly Alexandra Eala. So, what's the bottom line? What can we expect when the umpire calls play on Monday morning? We are looking at a clash of styles. Even if they are the same generation, it is the old-school power at all costs vibe from Parks versus the modern, all-court intensity of Eala. My prediction, I think the first set is going to be a dogfight. Parks will come out swinging, trying to blow Eala off the court with raw pace. We might see a tiebreaker. Eala might spend the first 20 minutes pinned behind the baseline. But as the match wears on, as that sun bakes court 6, look for Alexandra Eala's fitness and mental toughness to take over. Watch for that lefty forehand to start carving out the angles. Watch for Parks to get annoyed that the ball just keeps coming back. I am calling a victory for Alexandra Eala. I believe she gets it done in 3 sets. Maybe even a tight 2-setter if she can crack the Parks serve early. A win here would be her first ever main draw victory at the Australian Open, a historic milestone that would virtually launch her into the top 40. This isn't just a match. Folks, this is a superstars coming out party. That session with Coco Gauff was just a rehearsal. Monday against Alycia Parks is opening night. To all the Filipino fans tuning in, get your flags out. Warm up your vocal cords. Your champion is ready. And to the tennis world, pay attention. The shift is happening right before our eyes. Do not sleep on this match. Check your guides, set your alarms, and get in front of a screen. We will be right back here post-match to break down every shot, every rally, and hopefully every celebration. This has been your deep dive preview of Alexandra Eala versus Alycia Parks at the 2026 Australian Open. The stage is set, the teams are primed, and it is officially go time. Keep it locked right here. Keep that fire burning, and make sure you are watching every single move on that field.